All right, y'all. Welcome to the Web Development at Berkeley Infosession number 2. And so, yeah, you might be wondering what WDB is. Well, Web Development at Berkeley, as I said, we're all about education, design, development, and a bunch of other things that you'll find out if you join, like entrepreneurship, culture, the whole spectrum. All right, next slide, please. Yeah, so as I said, WDB is UC Berkeley's hub for everything related to web development and design. Where you've never coded before, if you don't even know what a computer is, then you should still join our club. We have a full stack education branch where you can go from not knowing any programming, not having any programming experience whatsoever, to becoming a full stack web developer. And we basically enable you to build really cool things, even no matter your experience. That's a really cool thing about our education branch. For our industry development branch, if you have experience before, you have experience with either design using Figma, front end stack, or back end stack, just general web design and development experience in general, you should work with one of our super high growth startups that we work with every semester, and you'll be put in teams of 5 to 6 and just have a really great time going through a full development lifecycle with these really cool companies we're working with. Next slide. Yeah, so, and before we go any further, let us introduce ourselves. So I'll start. Name's Samarth. I am the co-president of WDB along with Vicky. I am a CS and business major, and what I love about WDB is the community. Honestly, I know it may sound kind of sappy, but there's just some really incredible people in this club, and I'm really glad I'm part of this club, because otherwise I would have never met so many people who have become my friends. Like, even online, like, I've still made so many friends. I think that's awesome. All right, I'll pass it on to Vicky.
This is true. Hello, my name is Vicky. I'm a second year studying computer science, and I'm also one of the co-presidents. My favorite aspect of web development at Berkeley is that, it's an organization for everyone. So, oftentimes you find a lot of tech organizations here kind of require you to have some like prior CS knowledge or be a CS major or something. But really, like our organization is designed around getting people from like knowing nothing all the way to be able to like build your own projects and like work for industry clients, right? So that's my favorite part, because like I always tell this story, but like 2 years ago ish, like I didn't know how to program, and like now we're at a place where we can like build our own projects, and that's such a like a rewarding feeling. So we want to be able to bring that experience to you guys, even if you have no prior experience. So yeah, I just think it's a really cool community to be able to like comfortably learn and build with other people. So yeah, I'll pass it off to Justin Chen.
All right. Hey guys. So I'm Justin. I'm a second year studying computer science and applied math, and I'm the external VP and head of development here at WDB. So basically what I do is I oversee the products that we work with, and basically these are just typically client projects where these clients are startups or other Berkeley organizations, or sometimes we work with professors on campus. So yeah, I'm super excited for WDB this semester, because last semester I had a blast basically working with a bunch of different organizations and startups, and super excited for the 6 or 7 different projects that we have this semester that we'll be taking a look at a little bit later. But yeah, and I'll go ahead and pass it off to Jasmine.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasmine. I'm the co-head of design with Timon, and my favorite part, I'm a second year studying cognitive science, and my favorite part of WDB, I would say, is how resourceful it is. I'm a new member on the team and I specialize in design, but what I love about WDB is that we're able to, even if you want to work as a developer in the project branch, you're able to take as many classes as you want from the education branch and learn whatever you want about design or coding. And it's just really open to everyone, and it's a really welcoming experience. And I'll pass it over to Aditya.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aditya Bawal. I am a second-year EECS major studying UC Berkeley, and I'm the VP internal of Web Dev at Berkeley. So I'm the guy that hosts the socials, posts the weekly announcements, handles internal club affairs, kind of like human resources of Web Dev at Berkeley. And my favorite part about Web Dev at Berkeley is just how friendly and open it is. I think it's quite hard to feel imposter syndrome here at WDB, because everyone is so welcoming and everyone is willing to teach you if you don't know a particular thing. And I feel very comfortable asking questions and learning in this environment. And I would like to pass it on to Alex.
Cool. So my name's Alex. I'm the VP of Education, WDB, and I'm a junior studying computer science. And my favorite part of WDB, I would say I love the aspect of WDB constantly trying to giving back to the community. So we have a great education branch, and we have created like a lot of high quality content. We have over 30 YouTube video covering full stack development, and being able to share my passion in web dev and also teaching a group of enthusiastic students feels absolutely great. It also feels very refreshing to see all the great projects that students are able to produce at the end of the course. I will pass it to Timon.
All right, hey everyone, my name is Timon and I'm a second year studying mechanical engineering and I am co-head of design together with Jasmine. And the reason that I love web dev is because it gives me an outlet to really to show my passion for design and to work on design projects, even though I'm a mechanical engineering major. So through web dev, I have access to an opportunity that I would otherwise not have access to. And beyond that, I also really enjoy watching the product teams come up with a platform from 0 to 1, from complete scratch to make a great platform for a client. And it's always very impressive to see what our team members create.
All right, so I don't think the rest of the leadership team could be here today, but so I'll be introducing them for them. So Izzy is the head of marketing, and they are a cognitive science major, third year. Yeah, Jessica is a fourth year data science major, head of finance. April's head of legal. Noor is head of projects development, and Cindy is head of projects on the design side. So that's a quick spiel. Though of course you're free to contact them yourselves if you're curious about what they do, what their role is, and all that stuff. All right, next slide. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly talk about our roots because that is super important to us. So we were founded, I guess, at HackSC, which is USC's annual hackathon. And so you can kind of see, me, Vic, and Aditya were there along with our friend Ethan, who's also in the club. And we were just naive freshmen, we were just going into a hackathon with very little experience. We knew how to do HTML, CSS, and basic JavaScript. We had 61A under our belts, and that was about it. So we went there and realized we had no idea what to do. We had this really cool idea about a community grocery store app. And so it was like, cool, how do you implement that? So we're talking to some juniors from Georgia Tech who we just met in line, and we're like, okay, so you need to implement PHP. And we're just like, yo, what is PHP? We never heard these things before, right? And so, through the efforts of a bunch of our friends who we made it at the hackathon, a bunch of mentors who were there, we were able to make our first web app ever. And it felt super empowering. But on the way back, we were like, why did we never know about this stuff? Why was there no way to actually learn what PHP was, what Node was, what React was? Sure, you can join, there's no really educational place that teaches you React or Node just in a pure educational classroom-esque setting. And so that's the idea for WDB. WDB was going to be the answer to all the problems that we had. Instead of having to go in blind, we want to give students the opportunity to get ready for the real world of development and get ready to use all these really useful tools and get them ready to build anything. And so yeah, here we are, a little while later with WDB.
Nice. So yeah, so as Samarth mentioned previously, last semester was our first semester actually. So I'm proud to announce that as of today, we're 0.5 years old. So if you wanna celebrate tonight on that basis, please do. And yeah, so last semester we actually went from a 5-person executive team to 51 members. So that's like tenfold, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, and we're looking forward to expanding even more. And last semester we had 5 client projects that we finished and 32 lectures and workshops. So yeah, it was a really fun semester, and yeah, it's gonna be even more fun this semester. So please join. Yeah, so like I said, next semester we're gonna be 1 year old. So save a date to celebrate for that one. And yeah, we're gonna grow the family, and we actually have 8 exciting projects lined up, and a completely revamped curriculum based off of last semester's feedback. So we're constantly looking to improve and provide the best resources for our students. So yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so I guess as a brief overview, let's talk about web development at Berkeley and our organization structure. So basically we have two branches. One is the education branch, and the education branch, we'll go more into detail on both of these later, but just briefly, the education branch is a place where students of all experience levels can join and have a good time learning web development together. So you have a choice to learn, like a full stack education, or you can specialize in front end or back end. We'll talk more about this later. And then development branch is a place where experienced UC Berkeley web developers can have the opportunity to put their skills into real world industry projects. So we partner with startups and companies around there, actually not even around there, just anywhere. And they'll come to us and be like, hey, we need your coding skills. And we'll be like, yes, we have coding skills, and we'll help them out. So yeah, developers will have a chance to join like developer teams and work on these really fun projects. So next slide, please. Okay, yeah, so I guess like before we get into the meat of the material, we want to do some logistics first. So at the end, we'll have a chance for you guys to break off into breakout rooms, and you guys will have like a chance to ask us questions and talk to like the leadership members. So if you already know what branch you're interested in joining, just change your Zoom username so that we know who to place in the what room. So for example, I'm Vicky. I'm a beginner web developer, or I don't know anything. So I want to join the education branch because it seems like such a cool and wonderful place. So yeah, I'll put edu in brackets in front of my name. So yeah, please do the same. And yeah, while you guys do that, I will hand it off to whoever is doing the next slide. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about education branch. And education track is all about learning full stack web development. And in our education track, we are trying to be as accommodating as possible, which means that there are like zero technical prereq to join the education track. You don't really need anything. And the only thing we're looking for in a student is a passion to learn web development and also a search for web development knowledge. The education track will last roughly around 10 weeks and will cover the entire full stack spectrum from front end to back end and everything in between. There will also be specialization. You can choose between front end and back end. You can specialize in either one of these. And after you graduate from the education track, you may also join the development team in their future projects. Next slide, please. So these are our wonderful group of teachers and tutors this semester. So first of all, we have me. So besides being the VP of Education, I'm also going to teach full stack development. And we also have Arushi. Unfortunately, she's not going to come today, and she's majored in computer science, and she's very interested in economy and also philosophy, and she'll be teaching front end. We also have Jarek, who's majored in poli science, and he just graduated from our education branch last semester, and he will be a reader this semester. We also have Vicky. Vicky, do you want to go over?
Yes, I'm back. I'll be a UI UX design educator along with Timon, who is down at the bottom here. Yes.
And cool. So Timon, do you want to go over yours?
Sure. So yeah, together with Vicky, we will be teaching UI UX, and that goes all the way from the basics of UI design and graphic design to how to really design for a user. So we're very excited to get our next batch of students.
Cool. And we also have Hector, who also just graduated from our education branch last semester. He will be a reader / tutor this semester. And we also have Abby. Abby's majoring in computer science, and he will be teaching front end. Next slide, please. So let's now trying to like learn a bit of computer science as well. So first of all, what's basic stack? So first of all, actually, what's the stack? Stack is just a collection of related technology. And basic stack for web development, we will be talking about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what are those things? If you think of the website as a house, HTML will be the foundation, the skeleton of the house. And the CSS is all the furniture within the house. you sort of can't have like no furniture in a house, and you still can't call the house a house, but it will be nice to have like some furniture in there. And CSS is kind of like a similar thing where it will make the website prettier. And we also have JavaScript, and JavaScript is what makes the house smart. So think about Google Home that lets your curtain pull up automatically. And while it may be the basic stack, these technologies are widely used as the base of every web development technology ever. And these stack creates some of the fastest websites since they are the base for every website, and companies like Netflix and GitHub use the basic stack for its speed. Next slide. So after you finish the basic stack, you can choose either between the front-end stack and also the back-end stack. So for front-end, the front-end refers to everything that shows up on a website and everything that the user is able to interact with. So for instance, everything that you see on Facebook is part of the front-end. And Facebook actually created multiple extremely popular front-end technologies, such as React and Draft, that's being used widely around all the famous tech companies. And in our front-end track, we'll be covering React. So first of all, what's React? React is essentially a front-end framework. And so what's a front-end framework? Front-end framework is a way to reuse all the components that you have written. So for instance, you have wrote a button. You want to reuse it somewhere on another web page. And you don't want to like copy and paste the code. And React will be very handy to just like, you can name the button like custom button, and then you can simply like call custom button in another web page, and the component will automatically be used there. So that's the power of React. And we will also be going over UI UX. And we'll be teaching UI UX since it's the design of the website is very important. And UI UX also includes like things like how to guide the users through a website, which is also very crucial. And we'll also be teaching TypeScript. TypeScript, you can think of it as a superset of JavaScript, an upgraded version of JavaScript. It has all the static variable that will help the VS Code to like, that will help the VS Code to detect the error beforehand. And we'll also be going over Sass, which is kind of like an upgrade version of CSS. And huge companies use technology like this, especially for React and React Native. So next slide. And you can also choose the backend track. And the backend track is the magic. The backend is the magic behind all the website. It's in charge of all the heavy lifting and storing all the information. So when you sign up as a user of Facebook, all your information will be sent to a server, and after some processing, for instance, encrypting the password, everything will be stored into a database. You will be learning how to build a server, how to create a database, and so on. And we'll be teaching Node, Django, REST development, and AWS. Almost every company is using some sort of server and database. Twitter, Lyft, Twitch, NASA are all using the technology that we'll be covering in our course. And now let's hand it over to Justin to talk about the development branch.
All right, cool. Thanks, Alex. So once again, I'm Justin. So I'm the external VP and head of development. So like I said before, what I do is I oversee the product managers and developers in this branch. So I'll go ahead and just talk a little bit about what the development branch does. So here at WDB, our dev branch basically aims to connect developers with different startups and companies around the Bay Area and beyond. Devs and designers basically will be able to take part of a full design and development lifecycle, starting with like designing the site to UI UX, as well as building out the entire site and deploying it at the end. So what we're actually looking for is we're looking for a couple of students who have experience in either design, front end, or back end. If you're full stack, it's even better. And you'll be working in teams of 5 to 6 with a project manager. And the entire goal of this is to provide designers and developers with industry experience. And yeah, we're just really hoping that these partnerships kind of help you hone your skills as you kind of go through and work with some pretty cool startups. And in terms of the companies that we have been working with and that we will be working with, you can check out some of them at web@berkeley.org/projects. I know the link is right there. And also a couple of companies that we're going to be working with this coming semester. I can maybe talk a little bit about that to build a little hype. I think one of our coolest ones is going to be a startup called Clicked. And the entire idea behind Clicked is that they're aiming to help people, this is quoted off their site, but they're aiming to help people find and pursue their passions by enabling access to real world hands-on learning experiences and career building coaching from experts at top companies. So they already do have a site up, but basically we'll be helping them build out their MVP on their platform itself. And you can check out their website at clicked.com if someone wants to link that down below, but you can also probably just look it up a little bit later. And another really cool startup that we'll be working at is Launch Party. So right now they're a super early stage equity crowdfunding platform that is targeting like college communities for pre-seed startups, and basically they just want to help them raise capital from their network. So we'll be working with them this coming semester as well. So just two startups that we're super excited to work with. We have a couple more that we'll be working with this semester. As Vicky mentioned, there are 7 to 8 projects that we'll be working with this coming semester, or this semester. But yeah, just a couple of our cooler and bigger projects for spring. Next slide, please, Aditya. Cool, and I guess I was talking about this already a little bit, but we have 2 different types of projects and 2 different types of clients that we like to categorize them into. The first one is kind of this more pro bono category, where for certain organizations such as like Berkeley nonprofit student-led orgs, like other clubs on campus, or some nonprofit organizations or student-led startups, we will do pro bono work for them, since we really think that every org can really benefit from a beautiful website, and we're definitely happy to provide them with that. And typically these sites consist mostly of front end, but we'll work with them to kind of figure out what exactly they need on the back end as well, if they need that. So a couple orgs that we worked with B-Forum, GrowTech, Formula Electric. We've been working with Stack as well as we're working with ASUC this past winter to create a site for their hackathon. Next up, for a couple of our industry clients, these are usually paid clients, and a team of project managers will basically oversee how these projects go, maintain communication with their clients, and these are basically consisting of all things mentioned previously, from design, front end, and back end. And these are pretty these projects often will be tougher than the work that we do pro bono, since they'll involve some kind of platform. But definitely, if you're up for the challenge and you are interested, definitely apply for the development branch, and you'll be put on one of our coming projects. And yeah, definitely our work means a lot. So we really like to provide them with a lot of, we really try to put in a lot of attention and care into each project. So like I mentioned before, each team will be structured in, we'll have 1 project manager and 5 to 6 developers working under them. Next slide, please. Yeah, so these are the product managers who will be overseeing external/industry clients. I'm not going to name them I'm not going to introduce them, but if you would like to get to know them a little bit more, you can connect with them. Their information is on our website as well. And yeah, these people are super amazing, and they've done a really great job this past semester. And next slide, please. And yeah, these are going to be our project managers who will be overseeing more internal and more pro bono, as well as some of the nonprofit ones. These are the project managers who will be working on those sites. And yeah, if you're a developer, you might be working with them as well. And yeah, that's basically it for the development branch. I know there's kind of a lot to go over, and there are a lot of different projects that we've been working with, and there are a lot of people involved. But definitely, if you're interested and if you have the experience, I would love for you guys to just come check it out. And yeah.
All right. You all may be wondering, Timon, how do I apply? Well, don't worry, because I'm about to explain. So we have worked very hard to make our application process as smooth, streamlined as possible, and also make it not as stressful as you might encounter in some other clubs. So firstly, we ask everyone to submit a written application where we can get to know you better. There will be a few short answer questions, and there will be optional resume drop for students. And the resume is just for the interviewers to have a better understanding of the interviewee's experience. And then step 2, we will be conducting behavioral and sometimes technical interviews. So if you're applying for the student branch, you will only have to complete a behavioral interview. And this is really just a casual time where we'll be asking you some questions about your experience, but mostly we are just trying to get to know our candidates and figure out who is the best fit for our club. And as you can see, our execs are pretty short, so you do not have to be intimidated by them over Zoom. And then thirdly, if you are applying for a developer position, you will be asked to complete a developer project. And most often this will happen instead of a technical interview, because we believe that allowing people more time to work on a project really gives them a better opportunity to show off what they know, how they work on a team, how they solve a bigger problem and break it down into smaller pieces. Next slide, please. All right. So in our students, what we really look for is dedication, passion, and desire to learn, because a strong foundation in web dev knowledge will only come naturally if a student is really invested, if they ask questions, and if they really want to put aside their personal time to get to know more about web dev. And we want to keep our community of students active, engaged. So we do look for that in our student applicants. Next up. Next slide, please. All right. So in our developers, we will be looking for a few things depending on the sub-branch of development that you apply to. So we will be taking applications for design, front end, and back end. And on the screen here, you see some of the technologies that we expect you to know. For design, it would definitely be Figma, Adobe XD, some kind of wireframing technology, and knowing Illustrator or some kind of graphic design application is a plus. For front end, we require that you know basic stack and with some decent React knowledge. And then back end, we require that you know Node, Django, or AWS, and those kinds of things. And most of all, we look for teamwork, communication, and dedication in our dev applicants. All right, next slide.
Cool. Thank you, Timon. So I will be sharing a little bit about your WDB calendar. I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering what a typical week looks like. So twice a month, all the members of the club from both branches will come together in a general meeting. And this is a place where we can catch up on club-wide matters and learn about what your team members and club members from across different branches and across different projects are doing. And this is also just a time to get to know your other club members. And then if you are a developer in the development branch, you will also have team meetings twice a week with your fellow developers and PMs. So this is a place for you guys to sync on your project, do planning, code reviews, and anything that you would like, and also to get to know your team better. This is especially for your project team, but it's open to all members of the club. If you're from the education branch and want to learn more about how a project team works and how the design and development process works, you're open and free to sit in. And then if you are a student in the education branch, you will have lectures twice a week. And this is for students and teachers, but all members are welcome to sit in if there's anything being lectured that week that you particularly are interested in. So yeah, this is just a really good time to get educated and learn a lot of good things and new things that you can apply to future projects. And then once a week, we do have socials led by our wonderful internal VP Aditya. And these are optional, but it's a great time to come out and just get to know the rest of your team members and clubs, and we'll be playing games and doing all sorts of fun activities. Yeah, so to sum it up, students, So to sum it up, students will have 2 general meetings per month, optional socials, and 2 lessons per week, and developers will have 2 general meetings per month, optional socials, and 2 team meetings per week. Next slide, please. Okay, so yeah, because we are online, everything will be online to accommodate for everyone in different time zones. So lectures will all be online and recorded if you're in a different time zone. We still welcome you, encourage you to apply. we will make all of the resources accessible and have people looking out for you so that you have the best experience possible. So the applications will all be online and then interviews will all be happening over Zoom. So we hope that you guys can apply and the application is very convenient and fun for you. Next slide, please.
Good evening, if applicable, everyone. My name is Zita Ball. I'm the VP Internal of Web Dev at Berkeley. And something that we really value in Web Dev at Berkeley is our culture. We like to think of ourselves as a group, as a family, rather than just a group of coders and designers. So one of our biggest priorities is creating an amazing social experience for all of you guys, instead of just, an education platform and creating projects. Some of our initiatives during Zoom to foster this culture, one of them is one-on-one meetings. One-on-one meetings, as the name implies, are one-on-one coffee chat sessions over Zoom with a member of our leadership team or exec team, essentially just to get some feedback from you about the club, to make some connections with the leadership team, and to just have a casual conversation to check up on you guys and maintain mental health. Donuts are also another initiative. Some other clubs on campus already do this, but basically it's an app on Slack that randomly matches up people in pairs or triplets every week and encourages them to hang out at some point. And after you hang out, you can submit some proof that you hung out. And both of these are completely optional. You do not have to do these if they make you feel uncomfortable, but they are good ways to make friends and meet people in the club. Now, even though COVID does make it hard to socialize, that doesn't stop us from doing things virtually. Some of the events that we have are study parties, game nights, and movie nights. And we also have a system called FAMs, which we will start this semester. FAMs are kind of roughly similar to Hogwarts houses from the Harry Potter universe, where you will be grouped into these large social groups with a FAM leader, and the FAM leader will encourage you guys to hang out and have some virtual social sessions. Again, these are optional. You can be as involved as you would like, but if you feel uncomfortable, you do not have to be that involved. And once COVID is over and things are safe and the vaccine is safe, then we will have a variety of in-person socials coming up.
All right, so we're just about nearing the end of all the content that we have for this Infosession. I think we have maybe one or two more slides of content before we go into breakout rooms. So I really just want to quickly talk about one more facet of our culture that's super important to us, just entrepreneurship. And it may seem kind of cliche, it's Berkeley after all, Bay Area, everyone's about entrepreneurship, but we really tried to base our culture around like a hackathon-y startup culture. Hackathons are, where we started. So we really value that kind of builder energy that you can find at hackathons, because hackathons can help you go from 0 to building your first web app or building out the next Apple or next Google or just pretty much anything you want. We really want to embody that in our work, trying to empower students and developers alike to build whatever they put their mind to. So here you can see a selection of some of the startups founded by WDB members or co-founded by WDB members. Like you can see a couple here, Huddle, Sedge, Calenda, along with a couple more. And so yeah, if you ever have a startup idea as part of WDB, one of these actually started in WDB. Someone just dropped an idea in a random channel in our Slack, and a couple people joined, and now they're launching. We'll always provide support for our very own WDB startups.
So I guess a couple final remarks. So first of all, thank you guys all for coming to our info session. Make sure to scan the QR code to fill out our application. I believe that does link to our application and not the interest form. Am I correct on that, Smart?
I think it looks at the website that has the application and the interest form.
Okay, perfect. And to do one even better, if you go to the link tree actually ends up having every possible link for WDB, including like info session links. I think we'll try to link our info session slides on our application later, and the link tree will also link to like our website if you want to learn more. So definitely check out our link tree just for a bunch of links to like our Discord and whatever more information. And so thank you guys all for coming, and we'll go ahead and go to the next slide, which we'll talk about breakout rooms if you guys have any specific questions. So so I see that a couple of you guys have already changed your names, and basically I'll just be putting people into breakout rooms, and we will, if you have any like questions or if you have anything specific, you can go ahead and just ask the respective exec in that breakout room. So yeah, if everyone can go ahead and just change their names again real quick, and breakout rooms will be created in about like 30 seconds.
Awesome. Yeah, so once again, that's the end of our info session. We'll just have a Q&A after this in certain breakout rooms. If you are unsure if you want to do dev or education, you're free to hop around rooms, like go to one room for now and then just go back to the main room and just be asked to be put in another room. But yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for coming and taking the time this evening.
Quick question. Is there like a specific room for like dev versus education, or?
Yeah, we'll have a breakout room for dev and a breakout room for education, but feel free to hop between them.
No, like which one is it? Like number?
Oh, they haven't.
I'll be creating them right now. It should be assigned to you.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
All right.